What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Down Once More. Matt here, and I am coming at you hot off the heels of seeing another mystery movie showing. And what that was a movie that is releasing in theaters wide this Friday, January 10th. Got to see an advanced screening, and I am going to be discussing that a little bit later in the pod. But first, HBO released the new teaser trailer, or the first full teaser trailer for season 2 of The Last of Us, starring Pedro Pascal as Joel and Bella Ramsey as Ellie. Season 2 looks to start adapting the second game, Last of Us Part 2. Brings in Caitlin Dever as Abby, who fans of the game know her character arc pretty well. Those who don't are in for a wild ride in season 2. Now, if you've been with the pod for a while, you know on YouTube, I did the nights the episode dropped, I recorded and posted nightly recaps of that on here. So planning on trying to do that with season 2. My life's gotten a bit crazier since then, but the goal is still going to be watch the episodes, come here, record. You're going to get the instant gut reactions, thoughts, review of the weekly episodes. So if that's something you're into, make sure you go follow, subscribe on our YouTube for that. That was typically a bonus episode in addition to the weekly one you get. So lucky you. So that will be YouTube. We'll see if it's a YouTube exclusive this year as well. But I also did a pod a while back, kind of giving my predictions for how they were going to adapt the massive Part 2 game into the TV series, and kind of my pitch for how I felt like they should do it, the direction they should take. I don't think they're quite going that route, which they know better than I do. They make a living doing this shit. I spend money to put out a podcast. So they know what they're doing. But the big thing with the trailer is they dropped that season 2 is coming in April. So stay tuned. Like I said, I'll be reviewing that. Really excited for it. Once dates get nailed down, I'm sure we'll get to see more. I'm kind of on the side, I don't want to see more in the teasers. I think this has a big enough fan base. Those who watch season 1 are already locked in for season 2, even though it's going to be about 2 years since season 1 dropped. So it's been a hot minute. Season 1 dropped January 2023. So it's already been about 2 years since season 1 premiered. But people are excited for it. I'm looking forward to it. So stay tuned for that on the pod. Now, I'm going to get right into the movie I saw. So, like I said, I've done some mystery movies before and reviewed them on here. One was The Bike Riders. The one before that was a movie that was targeted for middle-aged women, starring Kathy Bates, and it was fine. The Bike Riders, I enjoyed. Jodie Comer's accent annoyed the shit out of me when I saw it first, and then I saw a recording of what the real person that it's based on sounded like, and Jodie Comer fucking nailed that voice. So good on her. But now I've skipped a few ones. There were some PG-13 rated ones, which fine. But I figured out that usually it's a movie that releases that Friday. So I was skimming. Nothing really intrigued me. They did have Gladiator 2 as one of the mystery ones, but I wasn't in town for that one. Gladiator 2, by the way, fine. Perfectly fine action movie. Does not live up to the first one, even remotely. Has some really random dialogue writing choices that I didn't necessarily agree with or love. Like Paul Mescal's big speech, kind of trying to match Russell Crowe's height. You can't. One of the big thing is, where death is, we are not. Where we are, death is not. And that's it. Right? Okay. Didn't love. Some very bad CGI monkeys in it. Also, rabid monkeys. But this isn't talking about Gladiator 2. I had nailed down this was going to be one of two movies. This was either going to be Den of Thieves 2, which I rewatched the original Den of Thieves. It's streaming on Max. Fantastic action heist thriller. Gerard Butler. I was going to say Liev Schreiber, but it's not. It's Pablo Schreiber. And I believe, now I'm double questioning myself. Liev Schreiber is Sabretooth. Pablo Schreiber is... Pablo Schreiber is in Den of Thieves, and also Halo, Master Chief, which everyone was super chill about and really enjoyed. So it was either going to be Den of Thieves 2 or it was going to be Better Man, the Robbie Williams biopic that I talked about and was coming to theaters, where Robbie Williams is portrayed as a CGI chimpanzee. So I knew it was going to be one of those two. I was excited either way. Better Man, the Robbie Williams biopic, intrigued me because I really liked what Michael Gracie did with The Greatest Showman. He was the director on that. And I always like musicals. That's why we have this podcast about musicals. But Den of Thieves 2, fantastic action movie. Was excited to see the sequel of that. Sat down, some fantastic trailers. Really excited for Love Hurts with Ke Huy Quan. Looks really, and Ariana DeBose. Musical ties. So really excited for that. Novocaine with Jack Quaid also looks very fun and exciting. Sat down and pop music came on. I'm like, really, this could go either way. But what we got was Better Man, the Robbie Williams biopic, which had about 10 minutes of the movie before there was a title card, which is a long time before a title card, but I appreciated it. I had no idea what to expect for this. This is something that is going to make me sound very American. I had never heard of Robbie Williams. Huge musical blind spot, apparently, what I found from watching this movie. At first, I thought it was odd. He's the only CGI character in this, the chimpanzee. And in the preview, he says that he always felt a little bit less evolved. And so that's why he's kind of being portrayed as a chimp. As the movie progressed, I'm like, I do not know how they could have, I do not think they could have done this with a human actor. It was wild, but I fucking loved this movie. Knowing nothing about Robbie Williams, which a lot of times going to musical biopics can be really hit or miss for me. I'll talk a little bit about what I think some of the best musical biopics out there are after this, but really hit or miss. And usually I want at least some kind of foundation in the music. So there's something for me to latch onto and enjoy and kind of connect with. Never heard any of Robbie Williams' music. Never heard any of Take That's music, the boy band, where he originally got his start when he was 15. But this movie, so much fun. It was truly one of the most original swing for the fences biopics that I've seen. Now, how accurate some of the details are to be determined. Robbie Williams plays himself in this, him along with John O'Davies, also plays. I don't know if John Davies did a lot of this CGI or what kind of work on it, but Robbie Williams is credited as himself in this. He's a producer on it, heavily involved in the writing, and I think that's a benefit you get with doing the CGI character, is that it can be voiced by the now much older Robbie Williams. And it was just so much fun. I also think there's a level of things that get elevated when it's British, like I said on here, the British version of Love Island UK, far superior. The US version is starting to step their game up lately, but UK still dominates. At least the first seasons 2 through 5, the UK put up there with some of the best reality television that exists. But Robbie Williams, for those of you who don't know, Robert Williams, he kind of auditioned and then became part of the boy band Take That. I'm not going to get super deep into this in case we have some real British pop fans on here that are going to come after me. But I looked him up. Robbie Williams has won a record 18 Brit Awards, 4 of which are for Best British Male Artist. And in 2004, he was inducted into the UK Music Hall of Fame after being voted the greatest artist of the 1990s. Robbie Williams is a big fucking deal. Robbie Williams also had 3 concerts at Nebworth, a big music festival venue there, in 2003, that brought in over 375,000 people across the 3 concerts. So averaging over 125,000 people a show. A huge deal. Huge thing. Fantastic. And this was a very real, raw, it is R-rated, lots of swearing, which is to be expected. It's something British, right? Yeah, especially sex, drugs, rock and roll, all the fun stuff. It is so good. I would put this up there as probably some of my top 3 musical biopics. I really enjoyed this. I think even if you're not familiar with Robbie Williams' music, if you are just a movie lover or a music lover in general, this story is very compelling. I was very interested throughout the whole thing, intrigued. Well, Googled Robbie Williams, added the song Come Undone to my playlist. Great song. And I hope this does well, because it is a little bit of a bigger swing, especially for someone who's not as popular in the US. Again, it could also be the generation I am. Like, when he was popular, I was very young. So maybe it's a generational thing as well as an American thing. But Robbie Williams, big deal, fantastic musical biopic. Highly recommend people go see it. This is just a mini review of it. We will dive deep in it once it is out on streaming or digital somewhere. Either Rayleigh and I or Brad and I will get into it. But a lot of fun. Highly recommend you go check this out. I would love to see this have a great run in theaters. It's very well reviewed on Rotten Tomatoes right now, IMDb. It had some limited release and I think UK release earlier. But opens wide US this Friday the 10th. Go see it. I don't think you're going to be disappointed. Like I said, at the end of the movie, I'm like, I don't think they could have done this with a real person. This only could have been portrayed by a CGI chimpanzee. So, don't think I can say much better things about it than that. But while we're on musical biopics, I think this is a genre that can get very cheesy, very easily get into some bad imitation. Like, one that I didn't really enjoy at all, partially because the main character was so distracting, was Bohemian Rhapsody. I don't know. Some of it, even as if you're wanting to be serious, just runs such a high risk of seeming as parody and just trying to imitate that main person. A lot of times, no matter how well the person does parodying them. It's like Rami Malek does a fine job as Freddie Mercury, but again, I'm not the biggest Queen fan either. So maybe if you're a huge Queen fan, maybe you love this movie. It won a ton of awards, but Bohemian Rhapsody just didn't do it for me. I like when movies try to take a little bit more original view on it and make it their own thing. Now, Tick, Tick, Boom, one of my favorite musical movies of all time. It is not technically a biopic because it's a fictionalized story, but it does mirror a lot of things in Jonathan Larson's life, and he's essentially playing himself in it. And Andrew Garfield does a fantastic job of matching Jonathan Larson's mannerisms, and Lin-Manuel Miranda did a fantastic job directing and adapting this 3-person stage production into a movie that dives deeper into Jonathan Larson, this musical as a whole, everything that it is. And it is fantastic. So if you haven't watched Tick, Tick, Boom, what are you doing? You need to watch that on Netflix. But some of the other ones that really stand out to me, another one that takes like a little more creative approach to it is Rocket Man. Taron Egerton plays Elton John. It is one of the best biopics out there. Elton John is such a unique and just big personality that they take a unique and kind of over-the-top approach to it, and I thought it was really well done, and I really enjoyed what they did there. Another one that's not really a big swing, but it's a massive movie, is Straight Outta Compton. Another one of my favorites, O'Shea Jackson Jr. in that, portraying his father, Ice Cube. Almost a spitting image of him. Such a good movie of the formation of NWA and kind of how they came to be. The extended version is about 3 hours long, but it is so good. I love Straight Outta Compton. It's streaming on Max right now. Rocket Man's not listed as streaming anywhere, so that would have to be a rental if you're wanting to check that one out. But Straight Outta Compton is on Max. Other one is, this is kind of in the realm of Tick, Tick, Boom, where Tick, Tick, Boom is even less so because based on stage production. But 8 Mile, it's listed as a musical biopic, and Rolling Stones did a list of the 30 best music biopics out there. It is a loose adaptation of Marshall Mathers' life, growing up in Detroit, how he got his start. It is not a straight biopic. However, Eminem is playing essentially himself in it. And It is a fantastic music movie. And while it may not be a straight biopic, there are a lot of parallels. It is a lot of fun. Highly recommend if you haven't. Also, not streaming anywhere. A classic one that's one of the best reviewed biopics and a fantastic reviewed movie in general, won a shitload of awards, is Amadeus. Also, not streaming anywhere, but F. Murray Abraham plays Antonio Salieri, kind of rival of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. And it's kind of told from his point of view, looking back on it, and it is really original, really unique. I really like how the story's told. It's another one that it is a long one. We will review that at some point on here. I think it's also almost 3 hours long, and so a really fun biopic looking at the life of Mozart from a different lens, a rival's lens. So I really enjoy when they do something like that, when they take some bigger swings. However, the main character being portrayed as a CGI chimp while being narrated by the actual person is telling the story about, because he does interject throughout it. He's telling the story of his life. And it's one of the most creative approaches that I've seen. And so Better Man is so good. Highly recommend it. But let's get to it. It's the second week of the month. We are in the new year slump a little bit. I think everyone's getting back in the swing of things with work, trying to get caught up and get over that holiday lag. I have to have a physical for my work insurance, and I have not had a physical in 14 years. So we'll see. I may find out I'm dying. So stay tuned to next week's episode. Maybe we'll break down that, the downfall of Matt. But we'll see. But happy you guys are here for the ride 2025. Lots of fun stuff in the past. If you want to check out, if you're new to the pod, got some fun playlists on YouTube to help you figure out, depending on what you're looking for. If you're looking for a musical review, if you're looking for ones where Rayleigh and I are on there together, when some of our back and forth and combativeness and playful banter, or if you're looking for ones with Brad and I, just Rayleigh, just me. Check it out. We got it broken down into some TV talk too, mini reviews, musical news, specific musical reviews. So check that out. Coming up in a few weeks, I will be reviewing Rent in concert. So my theater, as an add-on with my season tickets, are doing a Rent live in concert. So it's got a full orchestra, they say. And I am intrigued because Rent is not orchestral music. It is usually by the band positioned on stage. So I'm intrigued. I'm not quite sure what it's going to be like, but I love Rent, love the music of Rent. So I'm very excited for it. So thank you all. Thanks for listening, watching. Hope you're having a great new year. Like, comment, subscribe, follow, tell your friends, tell your family. Get more people to go over to YouTube, subscribe. All you need is a Gmail account. You can just connect it, boop, subscribe, easy. Turn on notifications if you want to know when it's dropping. So Wednesdays, 6 a.m. Central Time, you know where to be. Thank you all, love y'all. Don't forget to go down once more. Later.